A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel, the best detailer spray 2025. The testing has begun. The first heat has started. We have 9 sizzling products that we're going to be putting to hell and back with testing and giving you the recommendations based on which ones get the most points. The lineup: CarPlan, Demon Shine, SONAX BSD, 303 Slick Shine Ceramic Detailer, Labo Cosmetica Perfecta SIO2 Ceramic Quick Detailer, Collinite Slickr Ceramic 3-in-1 Detailer, Turtle Wax, Graphene Infused Flex Wax, TAC Systems Shinee Wax, Angelwax QED, and CarPro Release. Let's go straight on into test 1. So test number 1, value for money based on the converted price per litre. The most expensive price per litre is the 303 Slick Shine Detailer at £42.26. So it got the least amount of marks, 2 marks. Next up, the Labo Cosmetica Perfecta SIO2 37.90. Next up, the Collinite Slickr Ceramic Detailer 35.83. These 3 products are considerably more expensive than the others. We then drop down to the Turtle Wax Graphene Flex Wax at £25.73. Our market average price per litre is £24. Then, getting 6 points is the TAC Systems Shinee Wax at £20 per litre. Then is the Angelwax QED at £19.90 per litre, just slightly cheaper. Then we're getting onto the really good value here, the SONAX Extreme BSD, £15.93 per litre. Fantastic value, that is. Then CarPro premium brand. You think it'd be really expensive. This CarPro Release product is incredibly good value at £11.98 per litre, 9 points. But the best value here, it comes in 1 litre. It costs £8.49 without the discounts, which is the cheapest in the test, is the CarPlan Demon Shine. So if you're looking for value for money, these 3 are the best, but the Demon Shine takes it with 10 points. Test number 2, using our patented tilt table sliding test. The least slick product and noticeably grippy on application is the SONAX Brilliant Shine Detailer. In next place, noticeably slick on application and one of only 4 products that has a slick buff when you apply it, but on the tilt table test it comes second to last, Angelwax QED. Again, Labo Cosmetica, a noticeably slick buff when you apply it, but when the product's set, we did the tilt table test 48 hours after application, it wasn't as slidey as some of the other ones. Next up, Collinite Slickr. This product doesn't feel that slick on application, and it came average somewhere in the test on the tilt table. Next up, decent showing, 303 Slick Shine Ceramic Detailer. Next up, Shinee Wax. This one, again, one of 4 that had a noticeably slick buff when you're applying it, with a good showing on the tilt table test, but not first, so 7 points. CarPro, the 3rd slickest, but also a product where you feel the slickness during the buff. So come 3rd in the tilt table test. CarPro Release, it released those applicators well. Surprisingly well, Demon Shine, because it doesn't make any product claims around slickness, but this product, once it sets, I notice, does have a nice slick feel to it, and it did well in this particular test. And the graphene infused, I've seen a pattern with products with graphene in it seem to do well in these type of tilt tests. So the slickest product after it's cured is definitely the Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions Graphene Infused Flex Wax. So there's our ranking on slickness once cured, but Angelwax, Labo Cosmetica, TAC and CarPro do have slickness during the application, which I've given them credit for later on in user experience. So that's test number 2 done, and there's your rankings. Next up is our hydrophobic performance, guys. So in last place with a slower sheeting action is the CarPro Demon Plan, picking up 2 points. After that, CarPro Release, again more of a sheeting action, doesn't add a noticeable amount of hydrophobicity. Maybe if you're putting it on the top of a coating, it doesn't interfere so much. Maybe that's by design, but as a standalone kind of product, hydrophobicity low. The Angelwax on its own, yeah, it's not prolific. It does add a bit of kind of hydrophobicity again. So maybe as a topper, it's a functional kind of bead booster, if you like, but not too impressive on the beads on its own. Same with the Slick Shine ceramic detailer. Doesn't claim amazing hydrophobicity from what I can see. Doesn't provide it, but it's a decent level of beading. From here on in, we're getting reasonably decent actually. The Shinee Wax has a good level of hydrophobicity standalone, an acceptable level. Again though, when you top with it, you will really notice the kind of boost to the beads. Now we're getting into pretty strong. The Labo Cosmetica Perfecta has a good hydrophobic effect in its own right, a bit more rapid than the Shinee Wax. And even slightly better, the Collinite Slickr, which I would describe as a beady detailer spray. So that's in third place. We're getting to good hydrophobicity. In second place, the Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions Graphene Infused Wax. Much more beady than I remember it, this product. Very rapid hydrophobics on it as a standalone product as well. So yeah, it's very hydrophobic, which is interesting. Yeah, I can't remember, but I didn't think it was that beady, but it is. But the undisputed king of the water flicking or the high contact angles, the hydrophobicity, SONAX BSD. This is no surprise. It is renowned for this. Lots of people call it a one-trick pony. It probably isn't. It's got a few tricks. But the beading is absolutely insane. Whether you use it on its own, use it as a topper, whenever you put this down, your car is just going to repel water like crazy. So there's your rankings on hydrophobicity, if that's really important to you. It can help dry the car and it helps you measure your level of kind of protection. But some people prefer a sort of sheeting action or less kind of hydrophobic. So that's up to you. You can discard as appropriate, but that is our hydrophobic ratings. The next test is durability. So we kept washing our test panel over there till all of these products kind of disappeared off of the panel. In last place was the CarPlan Demon Shine. It's not known for its durability. So really you put this on just to tidy up your car and add a bit of gloss. You don't put it on for any sort of form of protection, in my opinion, from what I've seen in this testing. Next up, CarPro Release. The same applies. I think whatever layer it's putting over there, it isn't that easy to see the hydrophobicity, but it seems to wash off relatively quickly. Next up, the Shinee Wax. So this is a little bit out of order because this was quite a hydrophobic product, but its degradation was a little bit higher than some of the others. So that came third from last. So it doesn't have durability. And that surprised me actually, because I don't remember it doing that before, but it did it this time. Angelwax QED next. Bit more durability than the Shinee Wax, so they're very close. None of these products are these detail sprays you would describe as durable. Somewhere in the middle, forming a good average, was the 303 Slick Shine Ceramic Detailer, but again, not particularly impressive durability. From here on in, these four products that are in the top order have impressive durability, almost spray sealant level of durability. The Labo Cosmetica Perfecta SiO2, come on John, really good durability, very close to the Slickr, but I just felt it degged slightly more. After that, the Collinite Slickr Ceramic 3-in-1 Detailer. Yeah, an impressive level of resistance to being washed. Both of these really do bridge the gap well between non-ceramic detailers and spray sealants, and that's what a ceramic spray detailer should really do. So good, impressive results there. But up in second place, and this was my candidate for the one that I thought would last the longest, this showed more deg than the winner, the Flex Wax. So even though it's more hydrophobic, it was degrading more than the Flex Wax, but still very impressive. You could almost class this as a spray sealant, in my opinion. It's so durable for a detail spray. It really is impressive. But in first place was the Turtle Wax Graphene Infused Flex Wax, which surprised me a little bit. I thought it had good durability. I think they sort of talk about 3 months with it, something like that. Perhaps that's accurate. But yeah, it really was not affected at all. It was still flicking the water off at the end of the testing. It was the only one that really showed the least deg. So that is our results. If you're interested in a spray wax or detailer, really, something you can spray on your car and shine it up that's going to last the most, it's really these top 4 that you need to look at. But obviously going up in improvement all the way up to position 1. So there's our durability ratings. Next up, we're looking at appearance, which is measuring the improvement in gloss on our test panel by taking average readings prior to applying, leaving it to cure, and it's been left for 48 hours this time, then taking post-gloss readings, 3 readings on each section and using the average, and then looking at the increment in gloss and the improvement in haze, the reduction in haze, adding up the deltas, and the one that's made the most improvement wins, the one that's made the least loses. You get the idea. In last place with actually an overall reduction, so we lost 2 units of gloss but improved 1 unit of haze, so there's a net loss of -1 there, which is unusual. But the Turtle Wax product was noticeably a little bit more streaky to apply and needed that wet wipe to kind of thin it out. So maybe that affects it. And maybe applying it in a little test strip, it's hard to use the right amount of products. You might be using way too much product, but the results are the results. Next up is the Demon Shine, which gave us an overall reduction of -1.3. So we had a -1.3 reduction in gloss and a 0 improvement on haze. Interesting. Next up, the Slickr ceramic detail spray. With this product, we had a -1.6 reduction in gloss, but a good improvement on the haze with +1.1, so a net reduction of 0.5. All of these products in this test struggled to increment gloss, which we've discussed many times. Do not be too alarmed. The worse the gloss, initial gloss, then the more they can improve it. Next up, the Shinee Wax product, which has tested well on gloss before. This only had a reduction in gloss of 0.6, which was relatively good in this test, and it improved haze by 0.6 as well. So its net overall was 0, which puts it slightly above average. Next up was the 303 Slick Shine ceramic detailer, which gave us an increment of gloss, one of few, of plus 0.8, but a overall loss in haze of 0.3, so a net improvement of 0.5. So this is all, if you're new to all this, what you can take away so far is this was all very close. There weren't big increments in this test for whatever reason. Next up, the SiO2 from Labo Cosmetica, a net loss of 0.2 gloss, which is nothing, but a good improvement of 0.8 reduction in haze, so a net improvement of 0.6. Next up, we had a tie with both of these. They both gave us a reduction in gloss of 0.2, but an improvement on haze of 1.1, so a net gain of 0.9. Our best overall performer in this gloss testing was the Angelwax QED. It gave us a net loss of 0.8 on gloss, but a really good improvement on haze. Overall, I'll show you the data there, plus 3.1 on haze, or plus 3.1 reduction, giving us a delta of 2.3. So there's all of our calculated kind of data. Don't worry about me crossing this out. I wrote the beading in that column, so I had to write it again. I'll do the adding up of all the points at the end. So in terms of gloss, guys, very close results. What I learned from this test is whatever we did to prep the panel and our pre-readings were kind of normal, for some reason, when we come back and took our post readings, these products hadn't incremented gloss. That does align with a fundamental detailing rule that really polishing the gloss and putting the physical gloss in the panel is really what you should be doing. And once you do that, these products do lose their ability to add gloss. The lower the gloss on that panel, so on really terrible paintwork, they suddenly become very good at adding shine to your paint. So they are really there as tools rather than always materials to gloss a car. Sometimes you could argue QDs are just to finish out and top up protection, but people do consider them glossing agents, and they are. But like I say, the worse your paint, the more useful they are for that. So there's our results on gloss testing. We had a tie there in 9th, that's why we haven't got 2 points. Next up, guys, user experience. And I'm going to go through and talk about each of these and give you the marks out of 10 rather than ranking that I gave them on user experience. And as I do so, you'll see what I'm basing it on. First of all, I think the Turtle Wax graphene infused wax is a really well presented product in a nice bottle, nice trigger, nice labelling. The only thing I don't like is the instructions are on this peel and it's like a book inside and it's awkward to open, and it kind of, the water can get behind it sometimes because everything you do when you're cleaning cars, your hands are wet. And it's just a bit awkward to read those instructions, but it's catering for all the different languages. The other thing I don't like about this product is it requires a wet buff, which is unusual for most spray waxes. And they've put that on there because I think it's rich in active ingredients. When you lay it out dry, it can sometimes, you know, that film can be difficult to push around. So it's the wet wipe thins it down. And then you can buff it with the dry microfiber, but that slows you down and makes it less of a kind of spray wax and more of like a spray sealant. So it's compromise where it does well in durability. There's a compromise for that. And I don't like the fact you've got to do that wet wipe. But overall, I gave that a 7 out of 10 for user experience. Pretty good effort. It's got all its health and safety stuff on there as well. Next up, SONAX Extreme Brilliant Shine Detailer. Now, there is one showstopper with the user experience, and that is a sticky or grippy buff with this particular product. So some people water it down to try and mitigate that, or even mix it with other products, which is crazy. Don't mix detailing chemicals because you don't know what's in them. You don't know if they're compatible. That's the biggest thing. It comes in a really nice, high quality kind of bottle where they've thought about the design. You can grab it with a bespoke trigger, which is one thing that I think is really good. Slightly old-fashioned language in the directions. Wash vehicle and leather dry. You know, dry with some sort of leather thing, which is an old-fashioned thing, but it's been around for a long time. You sometimes get that with German products. Overall, I gave the SONAX BSD a 6 out of 10 for the user experience, mainly because of the buff. Next up, the CarPro release. Oh, sorry, just going back to this. You can't use this on glass or plastics interior, and it doesn't say you can use it as a drying aid. So I think it says to spray onto a panel, but it doesn't specifically say that it can be used on a wet car. Next up, CarPro release. Again, this can't be used on glass, plastics, interior, and it doesn't say it can be used wet. It's a top quality. I like the styling of this, the branding, the Boston bottle in that sort of brown tinge, and the Vela trigger is very high quality, really good control with that trigger. It's a bit of a specialist product. It might be confusing to people what it actually is. Is it a quick detailer or is it a sacrificial layer for coating? Should you use this with what CarPro coatings, and when you should you use Reload as a sacrificial layer? That's another product they do. Or should you use Elixir? A little bit confusing. Overall though, pretty good, and I gave it a user experience of 7. Next up, TAC Systems Shinee Wax. This is one of the only products that has a poor, clunky old trigger which doesn't have good throughput and is a little bit light. You need a little bit more throughput and control. You can really tell the difference in quality. Also think that the packaging and branding on it is a little bit bland. There's a lot of language issues with the way they describe the products. Cleaning contaminants for enhancing the gloss of car body, providing water repellent and UV protection. Okay, it's not the end of the world, but if you carry on going through it, there's some silly things in there like, after spraying, wipe off with an applicator or sponge. You know, you're going to wipe the product off with a sponge, you're not. You know, and then they say after you've done that, go over and wipe it off with a dry microfiber. They mean spread it with an applicator sponge. But yeah, it's a little bit lost in translation. So that cost it a few marks. It does have a wonderful slick buff so that when you actually lay this product out, it's nice to work with. But they could improve on their kind of branding and marketing and packaging and labeling, I think. So the overall user experience I gave for this one was a 5. Let me know if you agree or not. Next up, CarPro Demon Shine. Sorry, just going back to the TAC Systems. No, you can't use it on glass, plastics, interior, and it doesn't mention using it as a drying aid. So I don't give it the marks for that. You can't use it wet, in other words. Next up, Demon Shine. You can use this as a wet, which is important, I think, for a detail spray, and they should mention that on the label, these brands, if they can. It can't be used on glass. It specifically says that, but it doesn't mention plastics, or it doesn't mention interior, so I assume that's a no. Some detail sprays can. I think it's a bonus. I think, for me, the downsides of this product are, I find the branding a little bit cheesy compared to like a really premium branded product, which is, that looks good, and the CarPro looks good to me, and that, even the Turtle Wax, I think it looks good. It's just a little bit kind of max speed, max power, in my opinion, with the whole Demon thing. The bottle isn't quite as good quality as some of the others, but it's strong, it's not going to break. The trigger, even though it's a cheaper trigger, it works fine. You can get your hands on that bottle. Not too much wrong with it, but just doesn't have the panache. It does have a strong pink dye in it as well, which I think they could tone down. But overall, it smells nice, and it goes on nice, and it buffs nice, and I'd give the user experience on this a 7 out of 10. Some people might disagree. Next up, we've got an airplane going over. Angelwax QED. It doesn't say if you can use it on glass, I assume you can't, plastics or interior. I'm so sorry if you can hear that plane. Jesus, with helicopter. And it doesn't say if you can use it wet. It's got a decent spray trigger on it. It's got a lovely slick buff. Really good preamble on what the product is in the instructions. Yeah, this is a solid kind of effort. I do feel these kind of bottles have become a bit cliched, but and they're not the nicest ergonomic bottles to hold. They're kind of, they're easy to label up of these. They're kind of used quite widely throughout the kind of detailing products. But I always thought Angelwax branding is pretty good. And I gave this an overall user experience of 7 out of 10. Next up, Collinite Slickr. This one I thought had a better overall user experience because you can use it on glass, you can use it on plastics. The Americans tend to get this right, and they know that people are asking these questions. You can also use it as a drying aid, and it tells you. There's a good label with a good preamble on the product and good detailed instructions and good bullet points as well. Prep, protect, maintain. Yeah, what it does, you know, it's easy to understand what you're getting from the products. The only thing is, it doesn't live up to its claim of being really slick for me. That's the only thing. But and the trigger isn't the best, although it works well, but it just doesn't feel the best. So overall, I gave that an 8 out of 10 for its user experience. Next up, the Perfecta SiO2 Labo Cosmetica. Now, this doesn't tell you if you can use it on glass, plastics, or interior, so I assume you can't. It does tell you can use it wet. It has a 12-hour cure time, and it's layerable after that, but no one's going to wait 12 hours to do another layer of a detail spray, a ceramic detailer. So really, that's interesting, that is. The only other thing I don't like with all of these products, the label is so long and so much information, it's really awkward to read. That's a consistent problem with the Labo Cosmetica. However, they give you a really good preamble on this product. Really good instructions as well, and it really makes some of its product claims clear, and the anti-dusting I think is important. Yeah, so it's good, and it's using Vela triggers, and it's all bespoke kind of bottling that are all a little bit different. Very well presented. These bottles, because they are peel labels for all the different language, they do, I've noticed before with this, they do like choke and crease out a little bit. But overall, I gave that a 7 as well. So good on information. Yeah, and it has a lovely slick buff when you actually use this, which is important. And then over to 303 Slick Shine Detailer, Opus triggered. I think it's an Opus compression trigger, which are pretty good. A nice bespoke bottle that you can get your hands around. Good at telling you about the product claims. You can use this on glass, again, plastic. The Americans are really good at telling you that. You can't use it on interior. You can use it wet. A good effort, versatile product that you can use as you'd want to use a quick detailer, and pretty clear instructions as well. So overall, I gave that one an 8 out of 10 as well, and those marks have all gone into it. And hopefully you've learned a little bit about some of those products, and some of this that we're going through could be speculative, but the things about the versatility where they've picked up points and stuff, that's important. And yeah, I've tried to identify any issues that I kind of found with the products in this particular section. So there we go. Okay, so on to our final results, guys. This one's all over the place, but it's interesting. With the least amount of points of these three products here, TAC, CarPlan and 303, picking up 34 points. Next up, picking up 36 points are Angelwax and Labo Cosmetica SiO2. So a couple more points, not much in it. After that, it's the Collinite Slickr picking up 38 points. After that, and this is actually in second place now, is the CarPro Release picking up 39 points. And these products are also different. But the ones that picked up the most products were the SONAX BSD and the Turtle Wax Graphene Infused Flex Wax, both picking up 44 points. And I'm not sure these two products would be my choice, but this is where it gets really interesting. Both these products are durable and very hydrophobic. That did well in the slickness testing. That didn't, but I think it did okay in the gloss testing. But the key thing is they give you that performance at a good price point. The other two performance products are the Labo, my fingers can't do it, and the Slickr by Collinite, but they're both very expensive. So that really accounts for the shift, and they've got slightly less performance than these two. So perhaps these two are the worthy winners. Perhaps though, the fact that that's got a sticky buff might just mean that no one would use it. You'd say, no, I don't like that, it's too, it's not slick. Whereas this one, people might not like the wet buff that's required just to kind of level it down. But overall, the purpose of this test, and I'll just show you kind of the data as well, so you can kind of take a screenshot of that and you can sanity check everything I've done here. Don't worry about me correcting those. Like I said, I got one column wrong initially, but that's our points. So if anyone wants to collate all that, I'll probably try and put it all into a spreadsheet if I can be bothered. It's all there. I'll end this video now, guys. So these two products will be going through into the next round, and all of the rest of our heats are over there. We've got 4 heats, which will give us a final, and then the grand final will be later on in the year where we'll pick the best one. I'm going to end this video, but I'm going to fire up another video immediately afterwards and tell you which ones I think are the best products and why. And that's an interesting subject, because if you think that one's best, why isn't that the winner? I don't know. We've had this dilemma before, but you kind of understand it's like a functional kind of performance test. So you've seen the data, you've seen the kind of what it's all based on. You may or not agree, and I don't, but those two have got the most points. Over and out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Doug.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I when